Hi, I am Muzammil Rawjani, the co-founder of Tech and Bench. Along with me is Jacob, working as a business analyst at Tech and Bench. Today we have Igor Portugal with us. He is the expertise in cybersecurity and have wrote the books on AI impact on our society. And he is the investor in many startups. So let's start this session. My first question is with Igor is like, tell us about yourself and your expertise and how did you enter into tech industry, and it was by chance or it was your passion, and then how did you go from your early development cycle to this big tech industry. So please.
Thank you for the question, Muzammil. And the my entry into tech industry was by passion. It was something that was instilled in me by my parents and my sister back when I was still in school. And so I've taken the IT degree, graduating in computer science in the early 90s, and I always wanted to develop algorithms to create, I guess, fun for people. Initially was fascinated by games development, but then very quickly grew into being fascinated by making business life easier and more effective, and delivering everyday life improvements to everyday people.
Okay.
And then out of curiosity, with some of the kind of the new, again, things we've been seeing, especially recently, kind of like you mentioned before, with things kind of like, the generative AI being very popular, especially in the past year or so. What's come out of that we've seen is kind of a lot of, even not even initial at this point in time, but a lot of forays into sort of the natural language, processing area, and how we can use these kind of neural networks and in different systems that have kind of been coming out, essentially towards that specific, type of kind of problem. It's something that we can get better at. We can always improve on it. But I was wondering if you could speak to kind of anything that you've seen that's either stood out to you, or anything that you've been kind of interested in, even hands-on experience with, kind of how those, natural language processing tools that have come about are being used to kind of create, much better kind of user experiences and things like that.
Thank you for the question. Well, generative AI has certainly created a huge opportunity both for businesses and for everyday people and everyday use. So I'm a very frequent user of generative AI tools in my day-to-day work, and I also employ generative AI tools in a number of the businesses that I am part of. And of course, I'm seeing quite a lot of opportunity that both generative AI and other types of AI, such as machine learning, computer vision, and a number of other areas where AI making huge advancements. I can see fantastic applications from that technology to come into our everyday life and help us create some very interesting and unique business models and business outcomes for everyday life and everyday
cool.
people.
I like that answer. And within some of this generative AI, so again, like we were mentioning, there's all different kinds of applications, and presumably in the future, there's going to be even more that, at this point in time, we aren't even aware of, which is, really, really fun and exciting. Have you seen?
I'm working on a few. When we come out of stealth mode, there'll be a few wows coming out.
Yeah, you're on the leading edge of it. That'd be great. we can start it here first.
Absolutely.
To talk about it. That's great. And again, because you're also basically deep in there, kind of doing stuff that's, again, like on this leading edge. As far as things, so that's kind of the new stuff, and then in a business more like ours where it's more development focused and things like that, what, if anything, have you seen as far as kind of the way, that different individual, even if it's just something, unique or something cool, but, how have you seen these people kind of
Yeah,
integrate this for sake of kind of like just increasing performance?
absolutely. I can give
Yeah.
you a couple of examples of where we currently
Mhm.
use AI and in a very, very clever way to help people. So one of them is the business that I'm involved called Zici. We have a platform
Mhm.
called Smart Life, which is an IoT management platform. And one of the applications of that platform that that we have delivered already is energy management. So, for example, I don't know about Texas, but in New Zealand, we have this challenge that the output of our energy grid does not have
Mhm.
enough power for peak usage. So, for example, if every New Zealander bought an electric car and started charging that electric car in peak time, the electricity
Mhm.
grid will collapse. So, one of the real big challenges for our electricity providers and energy providers is how do you incentivize and manage people's behavior so they don't all at the same time use all of the electricity available. And of course, one of the market mechanisms is you have costs that are going up in the peak time and then they're
Mhm.
reducing off peak time. And so what we've developed is some very clever technology. For example, in many New Zealand houses have boilers to boil hot water for hot showers and to provide hot water
Mhm.
to the household. Now, the boiler usually has enough hot water to provide the hot water to the household for the day. So not
Mhm.
for the day, but the way these boilers work, a lot of them are quite old. As soon as you turn on the tap and you take some water out, some cold water comes in, and the electricity turns on
Mhm.
to reheat the boiler. What our technology does is it monitors, we have inputs into the pricing of the electricity, and we monitor the thresholds of the hot water, and we only turn on the heat either when you need it or off peak when the electricity prices are
Mhm.
at the lowest. So you don't want to say blanket, I'm just going to boil the water at night, because what if you used more
Mhm.
during the day for whatever reason and you actually need hot water in the middle of the day? And it's hard to predict, and you don't want to go into a household and give the person in the household some controls that they have to keep tweaking in order to use hot water. In the household, all you want is to turn on the tap, turn off the tap, and when you turn on the tap, you want
Mhm.
hot water to come through. So we have an AI algorithm running and investigating your water usage versus the peak costs of the hot water, and we figure out through that AI algorithm when to turn on the heating and
Mhm.
when to turn off the heating. And it doesn't just relate to the hot water cylinders. We also do it for swimming pools and other things that require heating
Mhm.
in the household. Typically, we help households reduce their electricity consumption by
Mhm.
about 20 to 30%
Oh, wow.
sometimes. So,
Substantial.
and with electricity prices just skyrocketing, yeah, of
Mhm.
course, it's substantial and people feel it in their pocket. With electricity prices
Mhm.
skyrocketing, it makes a lot of sense. And it's an example of where we couldn't have done this without artificial intelligence, because without artificial intelligence, you need to go in and deliver a month-long training to each household about how to
Yeah.
manage their household, right? Whereas artificial intelligence gives that ability to learn your usage patterns and learn what happens when and make those decisions on our behalf as to when the heating needs to come on. We're doing very similar thing with, for example, with an electricity consumption charging electric vehicles. So we deploy electric vehicle charging infrastructure to large apartment complex. So you have a big tower block with lots of apartments. Typically, the car parks are in the garages, and what local electricity companies do is they deliver the power meters to the individual flats. So in the garage, usually until now, all of the power is communal power. So what we do is we deploy that infrastructure to support electric vehicle charging stations. And again, we run our smart AI algorithm to determine which car needs a fast charge, which car can go on a trickle charge, and which car can not take their charge until the middle of the night. And again, this is quite a sophisticated algorithm that needs to determine these things, because you may have 100 cars plugged in at any one time. And we've got the technology assisted by AI that actually decides when to turn things on and when to turn things off.
That's a very good application. I like that a lot. That's a really good real world, because it's something everyone has to deal with.
See this scalability in different countries as well. Similar model can be implemented in different countries. So it's very scalable.
Absolutely.
Because and then you mentioned the power grid stuff, because I know here we've had issues with that with weather, so we do know everyone's is day one same kind of issue. Like, how are we going to manage that? How are we going to go? And there's a ton of moving parts, but if something that simple as far as a solution is what it means to the end user, that's fantastic. That's great. And
the solution is not simple, but in the way we deliver it to the user, it's a simple solution. And behind the scenes, that the user may appreciate, there's years worth of research and development.
And then, at the end of the day, you just get someone go, okay, cool, it's a one step forward. But the research and stuff that goes into it's fantastic. And on that note, with kind of all the work that goes into this sort of thing, what in your, again, you've had quite a lot of experience with it and stuff, but for kind of leveraging, any of these technologies that are kind of upcoming, whether it's, they're all very much along the same vein, but machine learning, natural language processing, just AI in general. How could you help a firm, let's say like us, develop a mobile application and with that in mind?
Well, we already do, and we help firms like you through my security company that I'm involved with, which is called Blacklock. We run penetration testing services. So whenever you have a customer who requires for either ISO 27001 or the customers who require them an independent pen test to be done, we have penetration testers that go and break your software on your behalf and give you back the pieces. So that's our job. But one of the things that we commonly have noticed is that when we run a pen test and we find some vulnerabilities, we will give you a report which shows you where the holes are, and then you pick up that report and you go, oh great, now what? And then you go and Google Stack Overflow and different gazillion other resources to find, how do I fix that particular hole? Well, now with the help of generative AI, we actually pre-generate a solution for you, a fix for you based on your technology stack. So we will give you code samples right there in the report to say, this is how you can fix this problem. This is the problem. And
That's
this
great.
Is the fix.
That saves so much time for so many developers. I can imagine. It's great.
It does. Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, that's definitely even smaller stuff we could use that on. Like, let's be honest, but that's a great application. Again, I wasn't really not old enough to remember, to be frank, but I've heard it's kind of individuals likening it to kind of as the internet stuff kind of really started to be building out. Do you think it's kind of as much of kind of a step that we're taking here, or do you think it's something smaller, or maybe?
Oh, absolutely. I think
Yeah.
generative AI is huge. Generative AI is going to be it's as revolutionary as the internet
Mhm.
was in its own time. It's as revolutionary as the World Wide Web when it was created, and we've had many of technologies that came in, and of course, smartphones was another revolutionary technology that
Mhm.
has shifted the way we operate. And generative AI will also shift and already has
Yeah,
the
we're
way we
very exciting
operate.
times. I mean, just seeing the stuff that
Yeah,
comes out, day to day, even the requests for, ideas that might seem kind of zany, but at the end of the day, you look at it and you go, oh, that's exactly what it's made for, and all that kind of stuff is really, really exciting when we hear that kind of thing come through.
absolutely.
And then I guess finally, for anyone looking to build something, in that vein, with some kind of integrations, again, whether it's machine learning, natural language processing, AI, any of this stuff that's been coming out, what advice, if any, would you have for anyone looking to develop something um, in that manner?
So, my advice to any business people and any software developers is that if you are not using generative AI in your day-to-day operations, you're going to be
Mhm.
left behind very, very quickly. You're going to quickly find that you're struggling behind your peers. Now, I'm not saying that generative AI is there to replace
Mhm.
what you do day to day. Quite the contrary. But what I'm saying is that it's such a gear changing resource. You can be here and you can just suddenly be shifted
Mhm.
to the next level in the next gear in your productivity. That certainly there are areas where you can find that technology to help you be more productive. And to me, if you're not doing that, then you're missing a huge opportunity, and
Mhm.
you're likely to get behind your competitors very, very
Yeah,
quickly. Very,
definitely.
very quickly.
So what kind of startup you are investing in? Like it's like generally like security companies or AI based companies, or it like general tech startups?
I usually invest in things
Mhm.
I'm passionate about, and I invest in things where I can personally
Oh,
make a difference. So from my investment strategy is very much involved around me making a difference. Yeah, for example, I don't like investing in stock exchange. I don't have any stock exchange investment, because if I don't have a way to impact a company, then why should I be holding shares in that business? So there's plenty of opportunities to put your money somewhere where you have
Mhm.
some input. Um, I don't want to say control, because you never really control anything fully, but it's more input and impact. And so things that I invest in are things where I can make a difference and make an impact and provide a significant
okay,
input.
perfect, perfect.
I
Thanks,
think
Brie.
I think I'm good from my side. Like I said, it's very interesting to talk to you and learn more about what you do, Igor. Thank you again for your time.